Yes, yes, fight fans, body and mind sports, my people. You are fully appreciated in this round, my guys, my people. Man, oh man, I'm sorry, my apologies, but we'll have to start this one on a sad note. I'm still very shocked by the tragic news um, on the passing of a British boxing icon, a boxing icon in total, my guys, my people. Ricky Hatton passing at the age of 46, just 46, my guys. The reports say that he was found in the very early hours of Sunday, this weekend that just passed, in his home in Manchester. Now, what is quite mad to me is that Greater Manchester Police, they are not treating his death as suspicious. And that's a bit mad to me, because by all accounts, he was in good spirits, he looked in good health, was even looking forward to a fight that he has coming up in December in Abu Dhabi. So this to me doesn't sound like a man that was looking to check out, you know. So for me, boy, but we don't know what was the cause of his death either. So until, for me, I hear that, it's quite a strange circumstance here. It's quite strange. But look, Ricky Hatton, everybody that talks about him, everybody that knew him, they say that he was the people's champion, very, very easily accessible, right from the common man on the road all the way to the media, even though he was a huge megastar, and he was by no means a common man, you know. Had earned the millions, you know. He was a huge star, millions and fame. He had it all, but he never forgot where he came from, you know. So he still mingled with the people, and really that was what garnered him much success. The fans, they took to him right away. Right from the beginning of his career, his debut in 1997. They followed him all the way to the end of his career in 2012 when he retired, and he left a trail of sporting memories for them as well. Earning 7 British titles, becoming 2 division world champion, taking droves of his fans. He had a real cult following, taking thousands to the US, my guys, my people, to face Costa Tszyu, defeating Costa Tszyu for the 140-pound championship. That was a huge night. And that is one that everybody keeps just mentioning time and time again, because he was the underdog in that fight. He was a huge underdog in that fight, and he proved that everyone wrong and pulled it off. My guys, my people. Other memorable wins: Paulie Malignaggi, my guys, my people, and also Louis Castillo, who fought Mayweather twice. The first fight Mayweather won, but it was controversial, and it forced a rematch. The rematch, Mayweather won decisively. That was a decisive win. But I mentioned this because it sheds light on the caliber of opposition that Hatton was mixing with in the ring, my guys. Top tier caliber. You know, we're talking about the faces of boxing, my guys, my people. The biggest nights, biggest shows with Mayweather and Pacquiao. And then time and again throughout his career, packing fans at the Manchester Arena. Super, super nice, my guys. He will surely be remembered. You know. But he's had his fair share of issues and struggles with demons. You know, he wasn't quite the man that handled the fame and the money so well. I should say. You know, he's had times when he had it all and he fell on hard times and lost it all. All right, and he struggles with drink, alcohol, depression, mental health. Spoke openly about it. Went on Talk Sports and spoke openly about it. You know, yeah. So only God knows what could have been happening with Ricky Hatton. You know, even though he seemed like he had more to give, he had a fight coming up. This wasn't a man that was looking to check out. You know, but then I'll have to drop this point. It is a huge lesson, my guys, my people. Tomorrow is not promised to anybody. It's hard enough making something of yourself out here. It is not easy. It is very hard making something of yourself. Your health is very, very important. You know, even though tomorrow is not promised, look after your health. At least give yourself half a chance. Give yourself half a chance to enjoy the fruits of your labor. Yeah, because 46 is very young, and I don't want to sound like I'm jumping to any conclusions, but this is sad, man. 46 years old. Wow, wow. I hope that he's remembered for the trails of sporting memories that he's left, right? But at the same time, we have to look at the life that he's led and learn something from that as well. You know, so there's something that we can learn from him on both sides, right? But at this particular moment, this very sensitive moment, I would have to say, condolences to his family. This is a very, very tough time, and I just pray that peace and God be with them in this very, very trial and testing moment, my guys, my people. But with that said, on this very low note, we will be forced to move ahead, my guys, my people. Yeah, it's quite sad that we have to move from that sad news to something I consider good news, you know, because Saul Canelo Alvarez versus Terence Bud Crawford, as we know, that took place the day before we heard of the sad passing of Ricky Hatton. The 13th of September, my guys, my people, Saul Canelo Alvarez versus Terence Bud Crawford. What a fight. What a fight, my guys. Had me on the edge of my seats. And this was not even a fight, right, that was, let's say, a barn burner. It wasn't that sort of fight. It was more of a technical chess match, a high-level chess match, but full of activity between two elite fighters. And that is what I particularly loved about the fight. Those are the sort of fights that I love, because I'm into the beautiful science, really. And I'm glad that everybody appreciated it, because I've not read any bad reviews about this fight. So total success, I would have to say. Total success, my guys. My people. Yeah, but it was a high level chess match, and once again, Terence Bud Crawford proving that even in between two elite fighters, there are still several degrees of separation, as he showed when he separated himself from Saul Canelo Alvarez easily. easily. He shows that he's several levels above Canelo. Yeah, and I think it really stems from his natural his natural gift of fighting instinct, his spatial awareness. He just has a read on his opponents very, very well. What they're going to do, what is going to do to force a mistake out of them, make them throw a punch that he can capitalize on. Very, very smart fighter. Fast, swift, and even showed us that he is stronger and more powerful than the bigger fighter in Canelo. Now, how can that be? How can that be? Terence Bud Crawford is just one word sums it up. He is awesome. But the word I want to sum up his performance against Canelo is just total, yeah, just effortless. That's the word. That's the word that describes it best. Effortless, my guys, my people. Canelo, the so-called bigger man, he was only effective for the first 5 rounds, you know, but those were the rounds where Terence Bud Crawford was taking his time to set the table so he so you can eat later on, you know, taking his time to establish distance control, establish that jab with his longer reach. I knew that would be a problem. You know, Canelo don't have a jab. So he established the jab, the distance control, the lateral movement to force Canelo to start working and trying to close that distance. Found him lunging at times, and Crawford countering very, very well. Canelo did some good work too in those first 5 rounds, but I gave the first 3 rounds to Terence Bud Crawford. Canelo came back in rounds 4 and 5. I gave to Canelo because he landed some real good right hand shots on Crawford. Crawford very vulnerable on that side because he's a southpaw, right, and was southpaw throughout the fight. He didn't switch, not even once, my guys, my people. So yeah, I gave Canelo those 2 rounds. He landed some good body punches as well in rounds 4 and 5. But from round 6, I'm noticing Canelo starting to gas out, and Crawford sitting down in round 6. He was sitting down in round 6. Right in the pocket, and that's when he showed he had more power and that he was stronger. Literally outmanning the big man and landing those counter catch and shoots. Those counter catch and shoots, my guys, my people, right on the inside. He held his own as well because Canelo landed 2, but not hard shots. Crawford landed the much cleaner, harder shots and did the much more smarter and effective work as well. So the boxing IQ was just levels above Canelo, I would have to say. Boy, now Crawford at the post press, he said that he didn't feel Canelo's power that much. He said that Mean Machine hit harder than Canelo. Wow, now that's a surprise because we know Canelo to be a devastating puncher. One thing I noticed about Canelo in the fight though is that he was not loading up as we know him to do in the past. Not in this fight, it wasn't loading up as much, and the punches weren't as wide, so he wasn't as, you know, aggressive, if you understand, you know, with his punches. Yeah, and that tells me something, that he doesn't want to get caught with the counter, you know, doesn't want to get caught. Crawford being the master of catch and shoot, I knew that would be effective, and also that he respected the power. The power. You don't want to turn it up and you can't handle what is coming back. You can't handle what is coming back. Crawford himself said, look, I could have turned it up even more. I could have turned it up even more on him. But my team told me, nah, just chill. You're winning, so just keep winning. So he just did enough to win, really. Canelo himself, look, you heard it from the horse's mouth. He said there was nothing that he could have done, you know, to offset Crawford's style. Nothing he could have done, you know. Crawford was just better than him. He has to accept it. He used the word. He has to accept it. And you know what that means? You know what that means? No rematch. He doesn't want a rematch. I'm hearing there's a rematch clause. But if you can't beat him, he's confessing it. He doesn't want a rematch because the next time it's going to be worse. We saw Crawford was clearly winning, but then even tried to turn it up even more in rounds 9, 11, and 12. The round 12, the closing round. Come on. Come on. Round 9, he was putting a beating on Canelo. After taking control from round 6, yeah, total control. Round 9, he turned it up, and Canelo only stopped the momentum of that beating in round 9 because he headbutted Crawford. Caused a little nick on the side of his face. When the referee called them back together to start fighting again, Canelo apologized straight away because he knows if you get Crawford on mean mode and he is in full control, doing whatever he wants, whenever he wanted, nah, that wouldn't have been good for Canelo. That wouldn't have been good for him. So yeah, great performance, great fight, and that was the best Canelo I've seen in a long time. In terrific shape, fought well, and the headbutt in the 9th round, that was a clear example of just how frustrated Canelo was in this fight, my guys, my people. He was trying his very best. His best not good enough. Just no match for Crawford, who I think possibly was not even in 3rd gear. Possibly. You know, because definitely that was not a Crawford that pulled out all the guns from his arsenal. He didn't have to. He didn't have to. He was just cruising, easy, effortless performance, my guys, my people. But do you know what was grotesque? The judges, their decision, their scorecards, right? Well, the decision was good, unanimous decision for Crawford, but they tried to steal the fight from him. One judge scoring it 116-112. Now, that was egregious, right? But it's an absolute sin for 2 judges to have it 115-113, separating both fighters by just 1 round. Meaning that if Canelo won just 1 more round, the fight would have turned out to be a majority draw. It would have been a majority draw, my guys, my people. Damn. Damn. I'm just glad that Crawford just, you know, scored a shutout. I only gave Canelo 2 rounds. My scorecard read 118-110. Only gave Canelo 2 rounds. Canelo, who is a 4-division champion, 2 times undisputed at 168 pounds. That status now belongs to Crawford, who is now a 5-division champ, 3 times undisputed in 3 different weight classes. Never been done in the history of the sport. Actually, since the 1930s, it was done by Henry Armstrong. But that was in, I mean, Crawford did it in the 4-belt era. Crawford did it. He was the first to do it in the 4-belt era. The smaller man beating the bigger man, does that diminish the greatness and the legacy of Canelo now? Some people might take that view and might remain in that stance. But as for me, it doesn't diminish his greatness. It doesn't diminish his greatness because, like I said, I appreciate the beautiful science. And science is all about training, developing, finding out new things. It's a learning process, trying to master the craft, my guys, my people. Even though the craft itself, boxing, puts a lot of emphasis into weight and size, at the same time, the fact that it's all about learning, training, and developing goes to show you that even a higher degree of emphasis is put on skills. skills pay the bills, as they say. My guys, my people. So Crawford, man, he did it. He did it. He showed that he was the better student. Yeah, man, super, super, super performance. So yeah, Canelo. I mean, Crawford only did to Canelo what Canelo has been doing to other fighters while moving up in weight. You know, so yeah, he has nothing to be ashamed of. You know, it's not like it's never been done to him before. Mayweather did it, and he thinks Crawford is better than Mayweather. Now that is that is a whole different thing. Is he better than Mayweather?